Hello everybody, and welcome back to another PlanElt Zoo stream. It is lovely to have you all here. We are here for another community zoo stream where we're going to be continuing PlanElt Zoo. I've been looking at the stream while everybody's been coming in, so hello to everybody who's been here early and joined. Hi of course to our moderators. I've seen Heather and Osric in the chat, and I've been seeing a lot of familiar names, like I've seen S. Dan Wolf in there, I've seen Becca Boo. And it is lovely to have you all. For those of you who do not know me, are not familiar, I'm Eltanin Cassiani. I'm one of the community managers here at Frontier, primarily working on PlanElt Zoo. You've probably seen me kicking about on these streams for the last couple of weeks. Every Tuesday now we're streaming here from the Frontier offices, and I've seen a lot of love for that in the chat. A lot of people saying that this has been making their Tuesday better. It's been making my Tuesday better too. I've been having a lot of fun spending my Tuesdays here with you guys, and I'm excited to keep doing it. So this week we're going to be jumping into the game a bit more and continuing on our exhibit that we started with Jens last week. Jens is one of the other community managers on our team here, and last week we started making a really cute red panda exhibit. Really love little red pandas, and we got their climbing frame in and their enrichment and got the area made, but now we need to work on foliage because it's looking a bit bare bones. And I feel like the whole community, including myself, like foliage is great fun. We love just getting really into making sure that everything looks as lush and gorgeous as possible, and spending far too long placing a million rocks. So without further ado, let us head into the game. So here we are. This is PlanElt Zoo. For anybody who is not familiar with it yet, this is a community project that we have been building every week together here on the Frontier channels. So part of this is a learning experience for all of us to go together, because while I've played some of the campaign mode, I've never built a sandbox zoo before. So for anything that I'm not certain with sandbox, that's what you guys are here for, to get the community to help guide me, because our community is such a wonderful, thriving learning resource for everybody to learn how to build together. And I'm part of that too. And on top of that, it gives us a chance to show off some workshop builds, put some of you guys' content in it, and maybe sometimes give you guys some opportunities to build some things and pick some winners to be featured in the zoo. So for those of you who haven't seen it before, I will do a quick pan around quickly and show you what we have. We have this little staff area, which is a workshop build. Brilliant workshop build for if you are starting off your first ever, especially sandbox zoo, and you need to be able to get all of your staff stuff right in there so as you know it's sorted from the get-go. And then on top of that, we've got a few little things for guests. We've got a shop, we've got a toilet, just make sure they've got some convenience, some things they might need. And our first exhibit we built was this little one in here for some badgers. Got them what we made into like a little fairy mound for their burrow, and many topiaries. And then we have this walkthrough area, nice little feature. We've got shopping, and it takes us down to the Red Pandas, where our focus is going to be this week. So first we need to decide what we're going to place in here, and part of doing that, to make sure that you get the right stuff that they need, is you can go on any animal and go into their environment tab, and then you can just pick what they need. And it automatically filters everything for you. I remember the first time I did that, some people in the chat saying they weren't familiar with it, and it is something I always jump to and helps so much with making sure that I get the right things for the right animals, and it's such a quick way to do it. So there is a very helpful little tip and trick for you. So we want to be careful with anything, for instance, the climbing frame. I was very paranoid that my red pandas were going to be able to just escape and climb out. So we want to make sure that we don't have that happen. We're not looking for everything to escape. As cute as they are, as much as I'm sure guests would love to meet them, we do want them to stay safe. So let me have a look at what we've got. I feel like we definitely need at least one big tree, probably in this corner. Fill this area, because we have our guest glass here, so we don't want to put anything too heavy around this front because it'll block the guest view. So around this area we'll maybe do some light plants, maybe some stonework, and we'll keep any of the higher foliage at the back, because this area is just going to be off for keepers. So let's have a look, zoom out a bit, and see what trees I like the feel of. If we go for one of the Japanese maples, we could get some color variation. We do like color, but we could also go for height. Why don't you guys let me know what some of your favorites are, and I can have a look at them, obviously from the ones that are available for the red panda, and I will stick my compulsory topiary in here somewhere. Where shall I put you? Ha 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 ha. Go. I'm very tempted to just continue hiding them in between streams each week while I'm waiting for you guys. When I come into these builds and work on it, if there's any changes that need done or anything that needs spruced up before the next stream, I have taken to hiding extra squirrel topiaries. And at some point when we upload this build onto the workshop for you guys to be able to use, I'm just waiting for people to go hunting for them all. What am I seeing regarding trees then? Ooh, some people saying they like the sycamore. Some people saying Scots pine. I am Scottish, so anything with Scots in it is going to have me biased. Let me have a look. These have a nice colour for matching the climbing frame. That does sound like a good shout. Decide which one works well here. I don't think I want to go too tall. That looks too linear. I think I like that this one got a bit more height depth in it. Maybe stick a couple in here. Rotate slightly. You are far too in the sky. Go, 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 go. There we go. Decide how I want this placed. Closer together than that, so as the tree branches kind of merge together a little bit. Yeah, and then we can stick some more foliage around the bottom. I'm saying even that they've swayed my opinion by picking things with Scot in it. That does work for me. I'm biased. I'm sorry, I've had to move down to England now for the job, and so I have to keep the Scots pride where I can. I have found it amusing though, seeing people coming into these streams and seeing me streaming every week now, and there's been a lot of guesswork around my accent, around where I'm from, which I've been finding very funny. Several people have been consistently guessing Ireland, which is Celtic, so it's close enough. So I've been impressed that people have at least been shoehorning in on that bit. Now, since it's Red Panda, I'm going to have to put bamboo in here somewhere. It would feel wrong not to. But just decide which bamboo is the most suitable. Ooh, we could stick it down the side. That might be quite nice. Or potentially along the back. Try this out and then see how it looks. I need one in the middle. There's too much of a gap. I like this. I'm going to move these forward now though. Have to be particular. When you place one thing, you might end up wanting to change something else, but it's about getting that creative harmony. I see people saying that they prefer the fountain bamboo for smaller animals, which is fair. But I think the reason I like this one for here particularly is just because it works as almost a visual screen to block off guests' view when they're looking through of the staff area. Which I like to try and keep them a little bit separate. As nice of an area as this is, as much as it doesn't necessarily look like more of a just clinical staff area, I do like hiding it and kind of discreetly distracting from it wherever I can. Hello to everybody that is coming in. It is lovely to see everybody who is joining. It's always nice to see everybody coming in. I've been starting to see all the familiar faces, the people I can expect to see every week. And it's nice to see the people that are coming in and that you're enjoying it and you're having as much fun with it as I am, because I've really been enjoying getting to play this and getting to have this experience with you all. So, I'm going to stick one of the little bamboos, since they were mentioned. I'm going to stick them maybe down at the front area. Not too far forward. I'm going to build some plant life out around it, but just to remind me to do some foliage work here. And now I want some shorter plants, but do I want a little tree stump here too? Yeah, that could be cute. I'm seeing people complimenting my confidence levels in game. Thank you very much. As I said, all my experience was primarily in campaign rather than sandbox, and also it was my first Frontier streams. I'm getting a lot more confident here and I'm glad that it shows. That's part of the thing about building. The more that you build in PlanElt Zoo, the more comfortable you start to get. And I feel like I'm starting to get to the point where I'm more comfortable flexing my creativity and showing things off a bit more and getting a bit more elaborate in my builds and doing a bit more. And that is in part due to practice and due to just continually building, which is how you get better at anything. And part of that is thanks to all the lovely tips from all you guys, because you guys are by far the expert when it comes to building. And I spend so much time every week looking at the absolutely astounding things that you guys are building. And it gives me a lot of inspiration, but also I try and pay attention to the tips and tricks you share across our forums, across various social media, so as I can have ideas of what I want to do and how I could build and how I can make things better. Ah! Accidentally steering at my climbing frame. I want one more rock on this side to balance it a bit, but I need to find the right shape. I might do the same one, but rotate it. So this is blended in well. Yeah. I really like rock features. I feel like it's a good way to get varied terrain without having to necessarily use the terrain feature and make the actual terrain too uneven. It's a great way to get texture. And it's definitely one of my favourite things about every habitat I build, is trying to make sure that there's enough variation in there. Stick some more ferns in there. Ferns are a plant I think is so lovely, but I am infamously bad at keeping plants alive. I don't know about anybody else, I don't have a green thumb. I'm someone that's like, I need plastic plants, otherwise they're, even succulents, I've had several cacti throughout the years, and it's not gone well. I kept one Monstera alive, and grew it to like 6 times the size of it. And then when I moved down here, there was no way to transport it, so I gave it to a neighbour and gifted it to them. But plants and me don't tend to work well. But ferns, I think, are so beautiful. And right now I'm just going through all of the different plants in game, because I'm still working out what my favourites are when it comes to creative builds. I have a couple of like rocks and stuff that you've probably seen favourited already, just so as I remember which ones I like and tend to use the most. Those are the right size for the kind of builds I've been doing. But I haven't got there with foliage yet, especially because I find it really depends on the build I'm doing, but I'm sure I'll end up with a couple of favourites, other than anything mossy. For external areas, if I knew them around here, I really enjoy all of these plants. They're very, very pretty. But that's not what I need for just now. But while obviously I have been looking around and keeping an eye on what all of you guys are up to, I do always love to hear about it as well. So if you are working on anything particularly interesting, anything that you're very proud of at the moment in PlanElt Zoo, then please do shove it in the chat and let me know, so as I know to keep an eye out for it. And so as I can hear about all of the wonderful things that you guys are working on building as well. It's also making me very happy to see multiple other people saying they also do not have a green thumb. I'm glad I'm not alone. Also, for anybody who doesn't know or doesn't use it, I know a lot of our community does, but there is the random rotation toggle. I've just noticed mine was off, which I have it off because when I'm doing rock placements and stuff, I can be quite particular about how things are angled. But it is a really, really helpful tool for getting variation in what you're placing, because then every time that you place something, it randomly rotates what you're placing before the next time, which can really help with vegetation in particular for getting a more natural appearance. Ooh, I've seen that Eben has said that they're working on a tutorial series. I have been watching a few tutorials lately to try and get some tips for this exact project. So if you are uploading a tutorial series, I will be sure to keep an eye out for it. I need a smaller section than this, just to get a little bit of plant life textured onto the rocks, so as it's a bit of overgrowth. easier from the side. Dislike. Ooh, Stan Wolf said they need to see me make a waterfall at some point. Is that a challenge? Have I been challenged? Is that my first challenge from the community? I'll need to try and figure out what exhibit to do next that will involve a waterfall. And then practice. I can't be letting you down if it's the first challenge. I want to duplicate this. I want another one. Don't worry, that's not staying there. I know. I just want to be able to use the advanced move tool to get this exactly how I want. Because my background is in computer arts and animation, sometimes I really like this advanced move tool because it feels very natural for me. And it allows me to be very, very, very particular with all of my placements, which I quite like. Also, I know some of our community can be very particular about making sure things don't stick out of habitats. This area is going to be staff. I just hide it. Just conveniently place decorative items. Okay, we have some foliage down in that bottom corner now. Now to flesh out this area a bit more, which means I get to have fun with rocks. I have seen Heather saying that Stan Wolf is the king of waterfalls. If I've been challenged to waterfalls by the community named King of Waterfalls, then that is quite the daunting challenge. Now I need to get on. So instead of using the rocks, I might use cladding around this area, just so as it's shorter. But I need to figure out how I want this to be. Ooh, I know what I might do. I need more plants for around the bottom. Stick some random ones in. I'm going to make a cute little area and then I'm going to surround it with rocks. That's better. And then when it comes to low surface rock cladding and texturing, I very much think it's something that's trust the process. Because sometimes I'll go to place one, I'll be like, oh no, that looks like so much. But then once it's actually placed and you see how it then blends in, when they all clip into each other, it looks a lot more natural. Do I have any shorter ones? Oh, that's way bigger than I want. Ha ha ha. Just for up these top areas on either side. Not too much. Just a little bit, just to round it off. And then I always like to have just like a couple of loose stones coming away from it. try and get the angles right. I really like the scattered fade stone look in areas. At some point, one challenge I would like to try and set for myself is trying to make custom decorative items like the way that you guys all do, because I'm so amazed by the tiny set detail items that you guys manage to make by like building together loads of other decorative items. At some point, I would like to try and have a spin at that. And now I'm just going around and adding some additional bits in edges, so as this looks a bit less rounded. I've seen even asking whether or not I have put in the PlanElt statue yet, because they went and made me a statue sign specifically for PlanElt Zoo, which is so cool. It is not in yet, but I will make sure to include it after our next workshop build when we take a look at some things that people have made on the workshop. If you do make anything at all that is specifically PlanElt Zoo themed, please do tag me in it and let me know. And if you don't know where to find me or can't tag me in it, then just tag it with PlanElt on the Steam Workshop when you upload it, and I will have a search and I will look, or put it in the title or put it in something, because I will search, and if I find any community builds for that, I would love to see them, because that's very cool. Right, we have a couple of little foliage areas starting to come together. The stuff we've put into the grass gives this area a bit more texture, but this whole section still looks a bit bare. So we need to do something about that, because we can't have this lovely textured ground area and then it's too plain. I've seen Estamel saying they love the cafe they did for me too. Yeah. Every time I get shared in one of these builds, it makes me so excited. I get tagged in things the community has done that's inspired by this build, or that's inspired by me or the other CMs, and that's really cool. So I always get really excited to see that. I really do try and keep up on as much community creation work as I can. But if you ever have made anything that is like, especially if it's to do with one of us and we haven't seen it, please do share it so we can. I can't explain how much we really, really do love seeing it. We get very, very excited to start sharing it amongst all of us. Now I'm doing that thing where I get very particular about little rock details again. Ah. I know they might only be like very small and just kind of only just sticking through the floor, but I like that. I think it makes the landscape more interesting. Now, which plants are we going to use in this area? We want some like low to the ground small foliage, because again, these are our guest windows. This is one-way glass, so as our red pandas don't get distressed at all. So it's fine from the guest side, but we don't want to put up anything here that's going to block the guest's view. Obviously, this is far too big, but I just want to comment that I love this. Willows are some of my favourite trees. And at some point, I need to build an exhibit so I can use these, because every time I'm going through the foliage in game and I come across them, I'm just like, oh, it's so nice. It's such a beautiful tree. Seeing a lot of love for various bushes, seeing nettles in particular being brought up. I don't want to use necessarily too many flowers in this area, I think. I don't think flowers fit as well. I think I want more greenery. Tree. I mean, let's go on gardening, but see if we can get away from flowers. Let's go in this corner. I always try, even if I'm placing like a single thing, unless it's a tree, because then it's got a trunk. I try and place anything and then make it look like it's fading out. So I always end up with so many of them placed in the ground surrounding the area, just progressively fading. If you have not seen our animals yet, don't worry, at some point after I have done building for a bit, I will go through and take a look at our animals so we can visit them. If it goes out of that area, it's not going to matter. I can place some flower boxes there and distract from it. Of course, we also need to still get some other stuff out the front of this exhibit. Some donation boxes, very important for any zoo that you are building. Maybe an animal talk point. Make sure that our guests have some features, some things to do. Stick some very, very low down ferns over in this area so it looks a little bit like deadened grass, because here we obviously have our grass, but I always like to make sure that the terrain brush, I'm going to change the lighting here, zoom out, so as we can see in this exhibit better. There we go. So I always like to make sure that the terrain is muddy and darkened around wherever the keeper gate is, because of the idea that there would be foot traffic from the keepers, and that's where it would be coming in and out. So this area would be trodden on. So I also, because of that, really like sticking little bits of foliage out towards grassy areas that makes it look like this is the remnants of what hasn't been kind of trampled off yet. I put far too much thought into my foliage placement, is basically what you're learning. I don't like this one though. This one can go. I do the same thing with like areas where animals would be trotting a lot. So there might be some, but it'd be worn down. Since I saw love for nettles, I will blend this out with nettles a bit. Just trying to blend this foliage corner so as it all kind of comes together. So it's just like spotted overgrowth. And it just makes the whole landscape more visually interesting. We need some more just in this little center area. Up this mound, fake hill. Does it count as a hill if it's not that big? I don't think so. I think at that point it's just a mound. Okay, and I think our foliage is generally looking a bit more interesting. I didn't want too much high foliage. Most of our plants focused at the back. I wanted a lot more ground texture. Mostly because, again, I want that guest view to not be blocked. So they can see some plant life, but their view isn't hidden. And instead, everything that could be hidden is kept at this back area and on the sides. I like it. I like it. What I might do is stick one more tree stump. I want to duplicate over here so it blends in with the climbing frame. Because that matches the climbing frame wood well. All of the wood in this exhibit matches very well, which I quite like. So just decide where I want to place this. Where do I think looks good? Now I'm being particular. I lied, I'm going to end up sticking down more than one. Stick this one much lower to the ground though. So it's almost just shaved off. And I think there we have it. So in our last stream, one of our red pandas got sick, so it got taken away by keepers and it's just come back. So here they are. Off they go. Let me stick this on normal speed so they're not just newing about. But here they are. This one's playing. They're so cute. I'm sure that Jens is going to... So Jens, one of the other community managers here, is the one who picked the red pandas to be featured into the zoo. And I'm sure he's going to be very happy with their mischief. They've already caused mischief. Now this is hanging off of bamboo. How dare you? But they're allowed to cause mischief because they're so cute. Look at that little face. Don't hide your face from us. You're friend-shaped. Look at them both. I love them. We'll need to start deciding, now that these two exhibits are done, what animal we're going to do next. So our first one was the European badgers. So here they are. This is me. It's Eltanin the badger, the first animal we placed. I was determined, because either the badger or the fallow deer can be called Eltanin in the name pool. I was really determined to get them, which is why I now have so many badgers in my zoo storage of the sandbox zoo, because I kept having to buy everything and refresh until I could get one. But it was worth it, because now I can watch me in my own zoo, having a grand old time. Oh, what I would give to be a badger, running around playing with a sprinkler. I'm seeing suggestions in the chat for what we could do for our next exhibit. Please do give me ideas, because if we can decide this time, then I will be able to know what you want to do next time. If not, then we can leave it up to vote on the next stream. But I'm seeing somebody thinking we should do a fallow deer walkthrough. Not a bad idea. It would fit with the little theme we've got going on, this like fairy tale theme we have in this particular corner of the zoo. I've seen people saying that you can change their names. I know you can change the names, but it's not the same. When my name is in the game, when the devs were lovely and they added my name into the pool of animals, I have to find one on the marketplace that specifically has my name. I was determined. I have seen otters, foxes, beavers. Ooh, Arctic fox isn't a bad shout either. I don't know. They all have similar feels to them. I think it's just the adorable corner of the zoo. But it's nice. I'm gonna, before the next stream, I'm gonna add some detailing around this area and kind of polish it off, hide things in this corner since it's out of use. This area up here basically is just for keepers. So want to add some detailing in here, add a donation box and other things down here, like I mentioned, and then we can start working on our next exhibit. Maybe this area, or down here. If we don't put it in this area, then this will maybe become a guest facility area. We can get a courtyard, we can get some shops, maybe some shop counters, try and make a custom shop. Could also make use of the van. Place a shop counter in it. Because right now, the only guest convenience we have is at the entrance and then one stall here. So we do need to start getting some guest areas in there. We want to make sure they have something to eat, something to do. At some point, we'll need to place a restaurant and get that built. But I want to hold off on that one, either to leave it as a challenge for myself later on, or possibly to use one of you guys' restaurants. I will have to have a think. But yeah, that is nearly it for this week, guys. I will take one more look at the red pandas so as you can have a look at our friends. Let's click off the badger. As much as we love me, the badger, where have they gone? They're asleep. They're asleep. Look at these little donuts. I've seen somebody saying they got to head out, so thank you for being here, and I'm glad that you had fun. Hopefully we'll see you again next Tuesday. I've also seen people calling these cinnamon rolls, and that works so perfectly because the stripes look like the stripes on cinnamon rolls. I love the way they sleep. They just remind me so much of cats, and I'm very much a cat person. So I think I'm very biased towards any animal like this. I've seen even saying that me fawning over animals is a highlight of this series. You're going to get a lot of that, especially if I'm getting to pick the animals that go in, because I'll just get very excited about my different animals. I love anything that reminds me of a cat, and anything that moves like a noodle. Anything that instead of bones is just wet spaghetti. So that's why I love things like, oh God, so many different animals. I love the liquidy moving ones. Oh, this one's waking up. Oh, look at that, they roll to get up. That's how I get up in the morning. You just have to really roll into it to be able to get yourself up and going for the day. Animals like red pandas and how stumpy they are make me feel better about how small I am. Because if they can be small and adorable, then so can I. They're gonna have a baby. But alas, that is about it for this week. So, thank you. Thank you all so much for being here, for joining me for another Tuesday here on the PlanElt Zoo community streams. I have been having so much fun, so much fun getting more confident with my freeform building skills in Sandbox, and with getting to be more and more creative, and with getting all of these tips and tricks from you guys. And it's so nice to see how many of you are coming along every week, joining in, saying that this has been a highlight for your Tuesday, just as it has been mine, because it's so nice to get to share these experiences with everybody. So before I head, I of course want to thank all of the amazing people who have been here spending time with us, and for our mods for helping. I've seen Heather and Osric in the chat, making sure to answer any questions you guys had while I was going along, and being a wonderful help as always. We do not know what we would do without you. It's been an absolutely brilliant time. I cannot stress enough how much fun I'm having with this. And please, if you do make any builds that are PlanElt Zoo themed, then make sure to tag me in them so as I can see them, and I will try and take a look before the next workshop stream so as I can pick out some of them if there are any, and make sure to feature them as well. And with that, that is everything. Make sure to tune in again next Tuesday when I will be back, and I will hopefully see you all there. Bye!